in the African community, the child is the mother's.
Yeah.
So that whole burden
falls on the woman.
It could be 95%.
Yeah. Talk show. I'm back again with another video. I'm pretty sure you missed me, and you know how it be. I'm glad you're back. Please, if this is your first time here, go ahead and subscribe. It's really helpful. And by the end of this video, I hope you like it enough to click the like button. So before we go on any further, I'd like to tell you guys what we've come here to talk about. And that is the realities of families with special needs children. Mr. Man here to you guys. He can introduce himself. He can do that by himself. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us your name and like what you do for a living. Anything else you'd like to share with us?
Well, first of all, it's nice to be here. I enjoy conversations, and I think conversations are very important to have. And it is also an honor for me to be a guest to talk about a very special topic, which is, family with special kids. But my name is Geneva Bilongo Waikembe. I am a quality tech at Invent. Also the president of Ambondo, Minnesota. So it's an honor to be here. I heard so much about the show, and I figured I'll come check it out for myself.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. You guys, I cannot believe I have an AMO president on the show.
Right.
Considering the name of the show, and you guys have asked me so much about like the name. And so maybe in this topic, he could kind of like bring it in a little here and there. But today's conversation is about how parenting children who are special needs and how challenging that can be for those parents, for those families, not just the parents, but also the siblings, and the whole family unit, right? And how they're impacted by this, and kind of like the stigma that is in the African community about about kids with special needs. And so, first of all, I'd like to ask you, do you think that our people are accepting to the fact that there are children who are special needs?
In general, no. I would say no. And I say no because it's evident that they don't accept it, and but I also say no because knowing where we come from and how we're raised, how African people are raised, and how religion plays a huge part in our society in Africa or among Africans, it put us in a situation where we're more deniers than acceptors. So, and with those situations, or when a parent or when a family gets a special child's need, we're starting from that point of denying. And with the difficulties first of being a denier, and you have to convert yourself to be an acceptor,
and then
start doing the work that's necessary. So it's like you're starting in a negative, where most people start at zero going up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So we have just another extra barrier we have to overcome to get to a point where like we can help our kids sufficiently.
And I think that barrier in my mind is probably the biggest one, because the special needs child is solely dependent on your ability to accept their condition and do what's necessary for them, for their future, for their existence, for their well-being. So if you, the person that's responsible for that care, you're starting from the point of view of not accepting that this is possible, this is real. I think it puts that child at a what's the word? At a position where
they're much more vulnerable.
They won't get what they need right away or initially. You know what I mean? So that's what I think.
Yeah. No, I like that you say that. That I think from what I've seen in the community, which has gotten me more passionate about this issue, is the denial part. Like parents will not get their kids diagnosed
Right.
solely because they don't want to be told that, yeah, this is what they have.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to wake up to that reality.
Right.
And it's really sad. I was actually just talking to someone and about a family that I know and how sad I get every time I just think of this kid and how much struggles that this kid is going through. I've also experienced being a teacher. Like I was teaching kindergarten a few years back, and I remember one time I went to my principal and I'm like, I'm seeing this in this kid. From what I know about this particular condition, this kid is inhabiting like, yo, it was an African kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I told the principal, so the principal brought in the family with the counselor there, and they said that the kid needed to be assessed.
Mm-hmm.
And the parent went off. Like the parent went so off that like they told somebody else in our building that I wasn't qualified to be a teacher. This was another African parent.
Right.
Telling the only African teacher in the building
Right.
that I wasn't qualified solely because I tried to help their kid.
Yeah, and first of all, congratulations on being a teacher. I, for one, believe that teachers are underpaid. I don't care what your salary is, and I don't know it. But whatever that salary is,
I'm underpaid. That's all.
Whatever the figure is, you're underpaid because, you guys deal with the world, everything, all conditions. So, on that, I'm proud to be in front of a teacher. And
Thank you.
Yeah, when it comes to, there's a saying in Africa that nobody dies without being witchcraft. So now, nobody dies without being witchcraft. You could be 89 years old, you could be 95, you could be 100 years old. They'll find a reason for you to die other than natural cause.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and when they do mention natural cause, it comes way at the end after they've already said everything else that could have happened to you that may have nothing to do with exactly.
For my Bema speakers, y'all understood.
Yeah, so with that, it's very sad to hear another African person or another Black person react in that manner. But now, do they know better though?
Yeah, and that's kind of like, it's a good segue to like what I want to ask next. Is like, what comes after finding out that your child is special needs? Like, how does this reality, how does knowing it affect the functionality of the family unit altogether?
For me, I think information is key. Mm-hmm. And knowing is so vital to how you deal with issues. Mm-hmm. There's one of my friends, I usually tell him that the reason why the United States is so strong or as powerful as they are, they invest so much in information collection. They are informed about everything and almost about everyone, because that gives them that edge where they can deal with it. Rarely are they surprised with something that happened.
Right.
So information is key for the parent, because resources may be there. If you're not informed about those resources, you're at a disadvantage in how you can tap into those resources.
Yep.
So if as a parent, when you're dealing with this issue, the first thing you need to do, I think, is become informed. Mm-hmm. And about whatever the condition. First of all, you have to accept it, and then after accepting it, it has become a reality in your life.
Yeah.
Get informed. Ask around. There's so much resources that people neglect. There's so much resources that parents can tap into that are experiencing or that have a special needs child. That a lot of these funds go untapped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most of these, the ones that do know, they tap into it. And they get a lot when they should be getting, they should be getting minimal, but they get a lot because there's not that many people that are tapping
showing
into this, showing up to get this aid that is available to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and the other thing is that with the family members, family is literally not to say a cliche, but is the backbone of every one of us. And their reaction to that reality also plays a key in how you cope with it as a member of that family.
Yeah.
So if they're welcoming, if they're accepting, if they're sympathetic to you and they're helping and all that, it makes your job much easier. One, to administer that aid to your child because you're not alone doing it.
So you're meaning like extended family?
No, not just
to the parent or to the child, like to
the family of the parent.
Okay.
The family of the parent.
Okay.
First.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they're they're influencers. You know what I mean? So and if they can have a positive influence in how you cope with this situation, it's also beneficial to the child because you have a different perspective in how you're looking at it, and you're not feeling ashamed for having a child with those needs, because some parents they feel ashamed that I have a child that has this condition.
Oh yeah.
Some parents they become envious of other parents that have no more kids.
Yeah.
And another part of it is that a lot of parents that diagnosis, right? Kills some goals that they had that may have had for themselves or even for the child themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, my child won't be able to play basketball. My child won't be able to to be an Ivy leaguer. My child won't. So accepting the death of all those goals, right? You have to also add that to the to the situation, to the difficulty.
And I'd like to add in, and I'm pretty sure my viewers are tired of me saying this word.
Right.
But the mental health of the parent basically goes like,
of course,
if they come to a point where like they accept that this is happening, like taking care of a child that's special needs is not easy. Like
by no means,
it takes a lot of work. And I've seen times, well, let me just say from my own experience that like there was a point in my mother's life where she was denied by everybody. Like no one would come to her aid because they were so tired of how much she had to be in the hospital. She was always there. And like to an extent, like some of like myself and my older siblings couldn't build a closer relationship to our mom because she was rarely home when we were little.
Yeah. She was busy.
She was busy tending to this other kid. And like, I don't think we blamed her. We understood the situation. But did that not impact us? It did. The things that I could have done with my mom, so it takes away from the other kids.
Yeah, it takes attention away as a parent that you can pay attention to those other kids. Now all your attention, all your focus is on this one child.
Yeah.
The other thing also that you have to understand is that in the African community, the child is the mother's.
Yeah. So
that whole burden
falls on the woman.
It could be 95%.
Yeah.
It falls on the woman 95%, where she has to, if the child is hospitalized, she has to be the caretaker. The caretaker. If the child wakes up in the middle of the night, she has to be the one to tend to the child.
Yeah.
While the husband sleeps. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know why that is, but that also.
I mean, by nature we are nurturers, right?
And true, but I don't think you turn down help if you were given to.
No, if help was given, not at all.
I don't think I don't know many women that would be like, if the husband.
I don't need it.
Yeah, if the husband say, you continue sleeping, I'll take care of this one. It'd be like, no, I want to wake up and.
No, I'm pretty sure they'd be so tired. I will talk me and my mother have these conversations all the time. And like looking back, she was so tired. She was so drained.
Yeah.
You know,
It is physically, emotionally, and mentally
every
draining.
business my mother ever started while we were kids couldn't flourish because today she started a new business. Tomorrow she's in the hospital and she's in there for a whole month. And then, so what I've also seen is that like the siblings, the way the siblings take it, you know, to each your own. This is how I felt growing up. I didn't blame my mom. I didn't blame my brother. I saw that this situation couldn't be easy for him. But I also know that like that wasn't the sentiment for everybody. Like there's the other siblings that feel like, why does he get so much more attention than I do? And it's like, if he had the chance to not have this condition that he's in, he probably would take it. You know.
And the other thing with the parent or with the children is that you, as a parent, as a mom, as a dad, you also have to become a disciplinary to those other kids to prevent them from making fun of this child.
Stereotyping,
before
discriminating.
anybody else out there, you know what I mean? The siblings have to know that, you know, we don't say this to this one, we don't do this, we don't behave this way.
What happens if this is done to our sibling in public?
So exactly. So there's a lot of teaching that
the
go
parents
around.
have to do. I also like, you mentioned something about like parents who become like envious of other parents who have like
normal children,
like able children, and like the parents maybe who are ashamed of their kids. Yo, I've seen that, and like I remember like having this one conversation with somebody where their sibling would not let their kid out. Like their kid would not go to bigger family functions. And they would claim that, no, they just like being home. But this kid wasn't, I don't think this kid was diagnosed. Anyways, I don't think they were diagnosed. But a parent always knows. A parent always knows, whether they are in denial or not. They know by, you know, the first year that no, something is wrong in the development of this kid. And so it's interesting that like, if you can't accept it and be welcoming to this kid, how can you expect that the outside world is going to do that for them?
Very true. And just a quick example, parents, right? Parents that have dumb children.
Dumb children?
Dumb children. Like this, you know that my child is dumb. You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
So my child is dumb. And then you're always hearing is, why can't you be like so and so?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And in a way, they're telling you, like, you know, I wish my child was bringing home grades, like, you know, so and so.
Are they dumb children?
Well, I mean, they're not, internally, they're not dumb, but outwardly, they're displaying dumb behaviors. You know what I mean? Or they're
and the parents are probably not doing their job right, bringing them up to pace. Sometimes, talking from a teacher perspective.
Sometimes the parent, sometimes it's not the parent. Sometimes
what you mean? If I give my kid more, why am I turning this into?
Right. No, but there's a discussion where, like, they'll ask a question about how you raise a child. Is that how your child becomes? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it? Does your child copy and paste the way you raise them to become who you want them to become, or do they pick up? Is there a transition point where they become their own selves? You know what I mean? So if
it's a 60-40 for me.
60-40, right? 60-40
parents influence
kids become how their parents influence, right? So the other 40, what happened?
The world.
Okay. And now you meet the ones that chose the 40, right? You meet them in the real world.
Okay. I got you. So, we just needed to clarify before we leave. Before all these kids start thinking that today you are saying we are dumb. I know. I'm not saying you are dumb.
There's no such
thing. It was baby.
There's no such thing as a dumb child. but there are dumb behaviors.
Yes, so dumb behaviors.
Dumb behaviors, and
yes.
then as when a person displays dumb behaviors, will lead to assume that there was dumb thoughts that went through the brain. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's nor here nor there.
Yeah.
But coping with children, the parents they have to realize that they become deprived, or we have to realize that parents become deprived of so many events that they could have probably went to, that they can't go because if they bring that child with,
they'll be stereotyped.
They'll be stereotyped. They'll be judged. And then they won't be there they'll be busy caring for the child there. You know what I mean? So they're deprived of social gatherings. They're deprived of many things that is necessary for their mental health also.
Right, you know what I mean? Right. So what are coping mechanisms for these parents? Parents and siblings and grandparents. Yeah.
Coping mechanisms. I don't know. For me, I feel like if that
running to the altar. No, people are always running to the altar. Go ahead.
No, as Christians, right?
Yeah.
Which I am.
Yeah.
As Christians, we God first.
Right.
In everything.
Right.
Good and bad.
Right.
The Bible teaches us that you have to be thankful in all situations. Mm-hmm. So in that situation, first, once you have accepted it, then you have to go God and say, oh, thank you for giving me this type of child. Now, help me out, this and that, this and that, this and that. So, we go to prayer with it. And not only do we go with prayer with that coping mechanism, we also go to prayer for a solution medically for that child. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because we have to also understand that it's the child needs medical help. Mm-hmm. That maybe if you take out the fact that you're a Christian, maybe prayer might not provide.
And also the fact that God has thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Baby, did you want to share any social medias?
BB Muta, that's my Twitter. That's the only social media that I visit frequently. Not on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, but I
rarely.
Yeah, rarely. But BB Muta, that's BBMUTA. That's at BBMUTA on Twitter. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys so much. See you next time. Please have more conversations.
If you're going to bury a person that you never met, you're meeting them right there in the casket.
I've not, but people do it all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
So maybe emo has a different meaning to. If you define in the way that you're defining it, then we fail. But if you define it in the way those that practice it define it, then maybe we.
Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.